All right, welcome to this channel's first deck dive. um, we'll be covering Marnie's Grimmsnarl and talking about all the components of the deck and how they work together, um, and also talk about the flex slots and free decisions you can make with the deck. Without further ado, we can just dive in. Here's the deck list. Feel free to pause if you want to stare at it. I'm probably just going to move over because I'm covering these cards individually, more or less. All right, so first we've got the main squad. This is sort of irreplaceable. You can change the numbers a little bit, especially with Munkidori. But for the most part, you want to have these Pokemon. So yeah, Grimmsnarl, great Pokemon. It's got 320 health, not bad, and Shadow Bullet does 80 plus 30, which is uh, it's all right. I think it's a little bit weaker than other cards, but like to make up for it, it has the ability Punk Up, uh, basically letting you find energy when you evolve. And uh, the cool thing about this is uh, you don't have to commit your energy to Impidimp or Morgrem in case they get sniped. But once you're ready and you're at Grimmsnarl, you'll have the 2 energy. Um, so very strong. And also, you don't have to worry about putting energy on these guys, so you can just put your energy on Munkidori early on. So it's just like good acceleration. By the turn you need it, you'll have like everything with all their energy attached. Next, we have Froslass. We deal basically 10 damage to every ability Pokemon that's not Froslass. This ties in very well with Munkidori, which lets you move up to 3 damage from one of yours to one of theirs, as long as you have a dark energy attached. Munkidori has Mind Bend, which is an interesting attack, but it's just not relevant for this deck. We do not run Psychic Energy or produce it in any way, so it's just used to transfer damage counters. Here's the side squad. We've entered flex slot territory. You do not have to run these cards. Um, Blood Moon Ursaluna wins a lot of games. It's just your finisher, pretty much, because by the time they have one or two prizes left, you just nest ball this out and swing in for 240. And by then, you also probably have Munkidori, and Froslass going on, just in case they're at that 320 range. I think you'll be fine. Um, Yveltal, high HP for a basic, no retreat cost, clutch, retreat lock, very powerful. If you need to boss something out that can't attack like Latias, it's uh, just powerful. I don't know, like you're buying yourself so many turns. Or as many turns as needed, right? Just to develop your Grimmsnarl, or find your nest ball for Ursaluna. Like all this can be achieved with the retreat lock. We have Iron Bundle, which is just a replacement for Counter Catcher. I run a 1-1 split in my deck of Iron Bundle and Counter Catcher. We'll talk more about them later in a different section of this video. And I'll just move on. Here's some flex options that I'm a fan of. Shaymin, I used it before and it was pretty good. Mostly good against like a Grimmsnarl Mirror or Screamtail from Gardevoir. I'm not running it now because I just don't run into enough situations where I need it, or I find that the consistency of having a 4th Munkidori is, in general, just better. Pecharunt, this is your 2nd air balloon. Basically, push your Grimmsnarl to the front if you have like your Ursaluna bossed up or something. Uh, yeah, it's just basically a free retreat. That's very situational and constrained. Psyduck, we are a little bit bad to Dusknoir. It picks us off really efficiently with Dragapult's 200 and Dusknoir's 130. And note that Grimmsnarl's at 320. The numbers add up to just barely take you out from 0 to 320. Yeah, it's a good card. I once again, like for all these cards, I think I ultimately value the extra Munkidori for now. This might change in Phantasmal Flames, as there's a card that I think kind of nullifies Munkidori's effect. I forget the name though. But yeah, if you want to try these cards, I would recommend taking out one of the 4 Munkidori and adding one of these in. Here are some flex options that I'm not a fan of. Badoo. I think it's good if you run 2, but bad if you run 1 personally, because you want it in your opener, and it's I don't know. It's kind of only good early game in my opinion. It's a dead card later, but yeah, you have Ultra Balls. I don't know. Maybe it works out. I just don't like it for that reason. Tatsugiri and Pheasantipity. I'll let you guys read that on your own time, but like, I think the main issue with these cards is like you want to use them when you're getting knocked out, but you're a 2-prizer deck, so you might not get as much value out of them. I don't know. Not 100% certain if that like logic is sound, but I find that most of the time I lose to Grimmsnarls and then hopefully a 1-prizer, but you know, maybe I close the game out with Ursaluna. I don't know. It's just I feel like it's not as efficient for 2-prize decks. All right, here are trainer cards. We're done with the Pokemon section. We got Arvin, Iono, Lilies, and Boss's Order. With Arvin, this basically finds you your TM Evo line, which is pretty good if you have 4 copies in the deck. Like, if you need energy, you get Energy Search. If you need Pokemon, you get Buddy Buddy Poffin. And then you just get the tool, which is the TM Evo. So technically, it can't get everything, but if you search for Secret Box, you can almost always get what you need to line up TM Evo. So just letting you know. In general, it's also good for finding Night Stretcher in a pinch, finding Nest Ball in a pinch to get your Ursaluna or whatever. Like, just finding a specific item and or tool like is just very powerful. Iono is good for getting a new hand. It's also good for disrupting your opponent's hand. The more prizes they take, the fewer they draw down to, and like you have this inevitability thing with Froslass and Munkidori, so like keeping their hand size small, even at the expense of keeping your own hand size small, is pretty worth it. I think so. But that is not to say you shouldn't run Delili's Determination at all. It's great early. You find your 8 cards. And even late, finding 6 is fine too. Like, it's a very solid card. Boss's Orders I'll cover in more detail, but it's basically a Gust effect. I'm going to cover it in the section where I talk about Gust cards, so just wait. Here's some Pokemon finding cards. Nest Ball, Ultra Ball, and Buddy Buddy Poffin. I don't have too much to say because I kind of expect you to know what they do. Just remember, though, Nest Ball equals Ursaluna. Like, same for Ultra Ball, of course, but like, that's like the first thing, the instinct that comes to my mind that just helps me remember, oh yeah, I have an out or something. So, Buddy Buddy is great for the TM Evo setup if you just need your 2 bench Pokemon. Yeah, we talked about it before. Here's some evolution tech. Rare Candy, currently at 1. And it's been fine at 1 count of Rare Candy. You're only using this on Grimmsnarl. But it's great if you're on the if you're going first. You can evolve to Grimmsnarl right away with Rare Candy if you need to, and maybe run away with the game. Who knows? Uh, Technical, Machine, Evolution, and Devolution. Yeah, Evolution is honestly MVP. It's just if you can get it on your first turn, you're just so ahead. I don't know. It just feels really good. Devolution is also very strong. Um, just remember you can use it to like disrupt rare candy, make them go back to basic without a way to go back to stage 2. You can also use it to finish off a lot of Pokemon at once. Let's say you have Froslass and Munkidori going on. You're dealing your bench their bench row is probably at like 60 to 100, and then you just devolve everything and knock everything out. That's the dream, at least. I think these numbers can be switched. You can run 1 Evo, 2 Devo if you want, but I just value securing the Evo if it's prized and all that. Very much most of the time I just trash the other Evo, the second Evo, to Secret Box or something, but yeah. All right, here are the Gust cards. Boss's Order is the most powerful, but it's a supporter. You just get a lot done with it. You get a lot done with any Gust effect. For this deck in particular, though, if you have your opponent at like 60 or 30 or something, and enough to like knock them out with just the 30 after your Munkidori, you can boss something else out and maybe go for a 2-for-1 attack. You know, there's a lot of like setup you can do to just sneak in more prizes if needed. And then yeah, Countercatcher, Iron Bundle, they're kind of the weaker versions, but they're not supporters, so you can kind of use them as much as you like. Countercatcher does have the restriction of you must be behind in prizes to use this, and then Iron Bundle is like you can't aim. Your opponent chooses who to put out, but sometimes that doesn't matter because you're just trying to You're just trying to like spread your damage efficiently with 180 to a new guy and the last 30 to the one you're hyper blowing out. All right, here are some energy cards. So energy search, we hopefully know what it does. And yeah, it's great because you can just get it off Arvin if you need one. Arvin translates to search for an item or energy and a tool. And then energy switch is the cool, like, oh, I feel so smart using this because you're just moving one energy from one Pokemon to another. But if you do it right, you get like a lot of value off it. For example, two cases I can think of. One is you've got one energy on a Munkidori and another Munkidori without energy. You can do the Adrenabrain twice by activate, move energy, activate on the new one. So that's cool. Just like if you need to squeeze in 61 turn, then yeah, that's great. The other cool thing you can do is you can overfetch your Grimmsnarl punk up and either put an extra one on Grimmsnarl or put an extra one on an Impidimp somewhere, and then later energy switch to a Munkidori if you need to, or an Yveltal. Yeah, there's good uses for this card. Situational cards, Air Balloon. Yeah, it's just your retreat assister. I usually put it on the Pokemon that did the TM Evo the previous turn because they're likely not not evolving. It's usually a Munkidori at the front that does TM Evo, and then I give it a balloon, and then bring out the Grimmsnarl. Night Stretcher, extremely powerful card. I don't know. I'm very up on it. I'm running 3 copies. Spoilers. One is over a Super Rod, which we'll talk about later. But but yeah, basic energy or Pokemon that finds you just about everything. uh, Late in the game, it's very good. Like you're down a Grimmsnarl, maybe your other Grimmsnarl's prize, and your only way to like put Grimmsnarl back out is Night Stretcher. That's a really real situation. Here are the stadiums. Spike Gym, you can find any Marnie's Pokemon, and your opponent probably isn't playing the same deck, so it's like a one-way or one-sided stadium, which is very powerful. And it just like consistently brings you up to Grimmsnarl. Like it's perfect. Artisan is there to find other Pokemon like Snorunt or what's it called? Munkidori. You can't find EX on this, just a reminder, but it's still very useful. I do think I want to find a different stadium that replaces this, but I feel like it conflicts with the plan, especially the Evo line plan. So for now, I keep it. A Spec, Secret Box. I think you're stuck with this one, but it's a good one. Yeah, if your TM Evo line is harder, you could use this to get out. You could use Arvin to find Secret Box and a tool, maybe your first TM Evo, and then Secret Box will discard that Evo and some other cards to find, let's say you're missing an energy, right? To find Energy Search and your last Pokemon, which can be acquired through Spike Gym, or Artisan, depending on if you're looking for the Impidimp or the Snorunt. So very like good range of like finding what you need, and you don't have to use it for this TM Evo line, but it's very powerful on its own too. If you need a rare candy and like a stadium to get straight up to Grimmsnarl, it's there for you. Yeah, what's missing from my deck? Super Rod. I am down on Super Rod, but I think I'm in the wrong just because everyone else is up on it. Yeah, I just have more value placed on getting the instant retrieval off of Night Stretcher, so I'm running the third Night Stretcher over the first Super Rod. I've never been in a situation where it seemed like it mattered to have the Super Rod, and I think Super Rod feels like a kind of a dead card a lot of the time for me. I have run into situations where yeah, like I could use more energy in the deck because maybe the game's going longer, but like I think the way it's like if my energies are prized, then that's when it becomes a problem. But I don't know. I just feel like most of the time it's not a problem to be missing this card, but that is not what the majority of people say. So take it with a grain of salt. And we have energy. 8 is a good number. If you're running Yveltal, I think you need to run 8.5, and I count my 0.5 as energy switch. Because that'll just like go move the energy to a relevant spot later in the game. So yeah, I mean that's kind of it. Like if you're not running energy switch, I would consider running the 9th energy if you're running Yveltal. But if you're not, then stick with 8. 8's a good number. All right, that is it for this deck dive. Thank you for bearing with me, and I wish you the best in piloting this deck through, either online or tournaments, or just like locals and friendly games. Show off something new you learned. Always appreciate comments and feedback. Feel free to like and subscribe. But I guess that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.